Welcome to Deport Entertainment, another episode. I'm Octavio Gonzalez, your host, and today I'm joined by my boy Dreaded Vibranium.
What's good?
What's good? His brand, Dreaded Vibranium. His name Yao,
Yeah. That's one of my 17 names.
17 names. All right, yeah, we all got like so many names. So, Dreaded Vibranium, man, that's a cool ass brand, man.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, like you tell me a little bit more about. I mean, I know a little bit about it. I mean, I don't know like how it got started and all that, but I had to find some green, and I got introduced to it.
Yeah,
Uh, it was some good stuff.
yeah,
Uh,
the best stuff. The best stuff. It's just it's all about branding right now. So I figured out
that's true.
let me promote myself, promote my strain. Stamp myself and put out the shit that I approve of because so many people consider my palate to be number one or consider me to have really good taste in weed. So I said if this is
Mm,
mine, I approve of this and I grow and all these other things. So I said everybody else is doing it. Let me get some of this money too.
yeah, but the designs on the bag and the actual logo, I mean, they're like top notch too, man. I don't know how you came up with that. I mean, this right here.
Well,
Uh,
so the mask was inspired from the movie Black Panther, of course.
okay.
So or should I just say Marvel Comics in
Mm-hmm.
general? But Vibranium, as you know, is one of the top metals in Marvel Comics. So you got
That's where I heard it before.
yeah, exactly. You got
Okay.
Animanium, which is Wolverine's claws. You got Vibranium, which Cap's shield's made from Captain America, and
Shoot.
amongst other things throughout the story lineup. But it's hard, you know what I mean? It's some hard, and it's a vibe,
Yeah.
it's a vibration. So it was like, I want to tap into
Right.
that,
Yeah.
and then I resonate with Black Panther and Africa and all that other stuff in general. So I said, let me switch it up. The dreads was just so I could implement myself into it. We
Yeah.
always like to identify, so I went with that for the artist lease.
Right. So dreaded is because dreaded can also mean like hate, kind of like
Exactly. So originally, so I
the
got
most hated.
you already know. So like I always feel hated and stuff like that or copied and whatnot, but not necessarily. I get a lot of love too,
Yeah,
but
of course.
with dreads I went with is dreaded because people hate it, they hate to see it, and then this weed is so strong that it's dreadfully strong. Like you might take a hit and you're like, damn, like that shit knocked you down. And I was my original name was the Dreaded Ninja. The Instagram shut my joint down, but whatever the case, the
Oh
Dreaded
man, they do
Ninja.
that.
Yeah. So it was a more of a play on I'm black, so I'm a ninja. I love ninjas and kung fu's and all those other type of things of that nature. And then I have dreads. Ninjas are dreaded just in the culture, so that was just like on that. So when I switched it up, I went with vibranium because that was I was tapping in with that at the time.
Yeah, I like it, man. I like it. It's definitely something that you can market behind. Dreaded vibranium. Um, like, so you're into that means you're into like Marvel, into comics.
Yeah, I like art and animation a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So like my pop was an artist, so he did like a lot of different sketches and drawing paintings and whatnot. So that got me into art. I really fell in love with Japanese animation, real young.
Oh, interesting.
And then
So anime.
yeah, I mean, yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't want to say
it's
all anime. I'm
right.
not like super fanatic with it, but the ones that I like, I do have a great deal of love for.
Yeah. No, I recorded an episode yesterday with my cousin because I know it's like a whole uh genre of anime
Mm,
and so many fans behind it, and people go do cosplay and all this.
mm.
I'm not, I never got into it,
No,
but I
I ain't with the
respect it,
cosplay.
Yeah, I respect,
I might have a mask or two, but
yeah. Right. I mean, for Halloween, like dressing up for Black Panther wouldn't be a bad idea, or like, but I guess the comic aspect of it is like so many people in it, and then like the only thing that I have done is like I used to watch Dragon Ball Z,
Okay.
growing up.
I
Like,
mean, that's the classic. That's the OG.
yeah, man,
That's the
Dragon
top of
Ball Z.
all. And like Dragon Ball Z will always be like golden era, platinum era. Like it's the top tier. But there's some shit that start to compete with Dragon Ball Z. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, that's what I was talking to my cousin about it. That the new stuff it's so much. It's not only like it's animated, so people like can dismiss it and there's nothing behind it. It could be just a cartoon, but
Mm.
it's so much meaning behind it as well.
Yeah, the
He
stories has
didn't
got a lot
the
deeper now,
stories. Yeah, they were telling me about Demon Slayer. I don't know if you seen that one.
bro. Don't talk about Demon Slayer. I was about to do a Demon Slayer John because I love that John. That's one of
Oh,
my
for
favorites.
real?
Yeah.
I just started watching the first episode, the first few
Yeah.
episodes.
Oh, it's that shit. Me and my son watch it. My stepson, we all love it. Like, it's a classic, instant classic.
But he didn't come out too long ago, did it?
No,
It's been
to
around.
me, it's like 2-3 years old. So Japanese should be coming out sometimes a little bit earlier. But
Yeah.
it's I haven't heard about it for a long time. I would say it's relatively new.
Gotcha. So yeah, man. Man, that's you got the whole John going with Dread Vibranium. I would say so. You said marketing, and you say you like art. Do you what have you done like previous to this? Like, how do you land on like doing like? I guess you're combining all your passions or things that you're into.
Yeah, how could I say? I'm eclectic, so I gotta put all the
Got to
spices in
be.
the pot and make it taste good.
Yeah. I mean, it's, speaking about what the brand kind of has and provides, the laws are changing. What do you
Mm.
feel? How you feel about that? Yeah.
The law never made me no difference anyway, so
Yeah.
I could care
But
less.
yeah, the pharmaceutical companies trying to get involved too and all that.
Bobby Line trying to ruin the system. I'm not. Look, good weed is good weed. I don't care who grows it,
Hmm.
but I don't necessarily trust everybody who grows it.
Right.
So we already seen an influx of different chemicals and different pollution in the weed, but I'm not. How can I say it? If it's good, I'll smoke it. But hopefully that shit ain't gonna make me sick.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. You gotta be. Yeah. Yeah. I guess you're putting your stamp of approval, your stamp seal of approval when you basically what you're providing is like people can trust, right? Like,
Yeah, people can trust it, or they can know like this is something that I would smoke, for
hmm
example. So, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of weed out here that I have sold. I might still sell. You know what I mean? Give me a good enough price for it, but I won't smoke it. You know what I mean? Certain dirt weed, or just like
yeah,
it might even look good. Some certain flavors of shit is like high grade indoor shit. I'm like, I won't smoke it. It's not my style.
gotcha. Yeah, man. So you still like do artistic stuff? Like, do you say you paint, you draw,
Yeah. All sorts of things.
graphic design?
Uh, I'm kind of sticking rock with it. Not very advanced with the
Right.
technology.
I'm not, man.
I need to work on that.
Yeah.
But
I use like apps that like I came out with this logo and it's not much, but they got Canva, there's some apps that you can use, but it's some advanced stuff right here, man. Right.
obviously I had to get some help with that. You know what I mean? Because my I can draw a bit. I can paint a little bit. I was actually painting yesterday, but I don't consider myself highly skilled in it.
Right.
I'm working on it. So for those who are highly skilled, that's why I
But you
reach out to.
practice it, but you do it as a hobby.
Yeah, I mean, I was a lot more into it as a child. So these days, even since a child, my life kind of sped up. As soon as I became like a teenager. So I
Yeah.
slowed down on the drawing. I feel it took too much time.
Yeah, and then you gotta like find ways to make money in once you hit that certain age. Man, life in America, it's all about
Yeah,
making money.
you know.
You gotta have a 9 to 5, or you gotta find ways to to provide to pay the bills.
Yeah,
It's just and nowadays people are like using their art like that's why I ask because people are getting into their
NFTs.
creative side. That's why I'm doing this.
Mm,
Because I want to meet people that are into artistic. Pushing this other side besides a 9 to 5 or having a career.
mm-hmm.
because I mean, here in Philly, I'm new to the city. Are you from Philly?
Yeah, yeah. Born and raised.
Born and raised. Yeah, and I've been here about a year and a half. I enjoy it, and I met so many uh, creatives. So many artistic people, and they're like making a living out of it, man.
Yeah,
They're
it's
making it.
definitely you know we take it for granted when you live here. I don't even consider all the different people that we have here, but definitely we got a lot going on.
Yeah, and sometimes you see so many people doing like pushing their brand. You're like, man, am I just gonna be another one out there? But
Hey, the world is spacious, so you
that's
could be
true.
amongst a million brands, and there's still billions of people out there to buy your shit. So
That's true.
there's always room.
And it's all about like being diligent, right?
Yeah, yeah, sticking to it.
Sticking to it. I mean, being consistent, sticking to it. So do you practice any like let's say like um, diets or any like
Yeah, yeah,
workout routines or anything
yeah. I'm
like
all
that?
into healthy living and shit like that. Like
Okay.
I was a vegetarian for a great deal of my life. I say like my first 11 years.
Oh man,
Um, I eat meat now, but only halal. Still, more plant based.
gotcha.
Alkaline shit like that.
Yeah.
Little workout, health routine, some tai chi, some yoga, acupuncture, cupping, all that good
Oh, for
shit.
real?
Yeah,
You got some alkalized water there?
Trader Joe's. Thanks for having the cheap shit for me.
I started doing this distilling my water.
Mm.
I bought through Amazon. I seen it on TikTok. And, sometimes TikTok is very educative. I don't
Yeah,
know if
for
you have
sure.
TikTok. This dude pushing about how the water that we drink is affecting our hormones, especially as a man.
Mm.
So like water from the faucet or even the water that you buy at the stores, like not you can't trust it. He said like another layer of safety that you can do is distill the water. So I got a little distiller.
Mm.
Makes a tank a day.
So is the
Uh,
water making people gay?
it affects your testosterone level supposedly.
Mm.
Well, it depends on the pH level of the water. Like the Philadelphia water seems to be pretty good.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought we had shit. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Like different places, they have different standards. But I heard our water was terrible. I heard New York water was good. I don't really drink spigot water wherever I go.
Well, I need to test it actually, but
Yeah.
when you distill the water, you see the residue that's left behind.
Mm.
It doesn't have a lot. Like but it still has some residue. Like
Yeah.
but I've seen videos of this guy that doing the same thing I'm doing. Is like whatever is left in the tank is like what comes in the water. And I don't know where he was living. It was like a bunch of residue left behind, and
Mm.
yeah, like that shit affects your testosterone levels, and so many things. Sleep as well, like so. It's more than a lot of
Sleep
things.
affects your testosterone?
Yeah,
What, sleeping too much or too little?
too little.
Okay. Yeah, I've been trying to get my sleep back. I need
Yeah,
to-
so, man, we take for granted sleep. Man, it's hard. I mean,
yeah. I just
I
got
try
my
to go
first
sleep
gray
at
hair
10.
the other day.
What?
I just got a gray hair the other day for the first time. Like, yeah.
I got some on my beard already. I got gray hair when I was like in my 20s, man. All this, I don't know if they say it's because of stress, but
Mm,
yeah, hereditary as well.
true.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, you say halal. Yeah, you're in how can I put it? Muslim.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
I'm
see,
Muslim.
I'm a Latino,
Okay.
and I come from my family didn't have a structure of like a certain religious. They weren't into any religion. Um, but most of the time, you're like we went a few times to a Catholic church or like
Mm.
where the Jehovah Witnesses came to the house
Mm.
and we let them in a few times,
Wow.
but nothing consistent. And
Actually, let him in.
my my dad, I asked him, I'm like, how come we don't practice any religion? I'm like, I want you to make that choice like for your own. I'm like,
Mm.
all right, and no one, they didn't. I guess he didn't have anything like that growing up. Like someone taking him to church or like practice this religion. So that's why I ask. I'm curious about people's religious background, and I know I don't know a lot about Muslim. I know I have a lot of a few Muslim friends that I met through my life. So one of them actually gifted me the Quran,
Okay.
and he told me to read it. And he was, he kind of pushed me to like, get into it. But I it's hard to get like to like say like I want like to convert rather than when if you were like already in it,
Mm.
So yeah, man. One thing that I can say about like if like whenever I think about Muslim religion is discipline. It's like it teaches you discipline and something that we lack here in America, man.
Yeah.
Discipline. Because you have to pray so many amount of times, and you have to follow. You have to fast. Like Christianity doesn't have that. Like
I mean,
and
yes, Islam definitely has discipline, and a lot of other religions originally did have discipline and was supposed to have discipline, but it's like not throwing shots, but people don't necessarily practice what they preach,
yeah,
and you find that even with people who claim to be Muslim. So I would say, on a whole, Muslims are, some of the people who do practice what they preach, like at least will, pray 5 times a day. And the
yeah,
people who don't do that, well, they won't eat pork or, certain things like that. Like we have a certain standard, and even the people who are subpar, it's frowned upon and shunned. It's not like, for example, fornication is outlawed in, just about every monotheistic religion, but it's not really frowned upon, or nobody considers having a girlfriend taboo. Nobody
mm-hmm.
considers having
Oh, that's
sweet
true.
16 sex,
Like
something
we
bad.
let some things slide
Yeah.
in every religion. That's true. And that goes to in Christianity as well. Like whenever like they have all these commandments on the I'm more familiar with that religion.
Mm.
Uh and but I mean to me like now that I'm at this age I'm like shit. I mean, I just know that I gotta have faith, and I'm in this journey that I gotta have discipline. Like whatever I do, like faith is one thing that I learned from Christianity. From is just having faith and having a pure heart, like the story of Jesus Christ. I don't know if what you think about, how Muslims think about Jesus, but me, like I don't know what's gonna happen there. Like I just think that um, his story is just like for live an example of how to live, kinda. That's why I said, what would Jesus do? That's what they say, um, and that's how I see it. I take a religion with a grain of salt, but also, I don't want to bash anyone that's practicing any religion, man. Just
Yeah, leave the bashing to me. I'll do it. But
yeah, we
yeah,
talked a little bit about it because I know you said that Muslims see Jesus differently, right?
yeah, we love Jesus. Jesus is highly revered. He is one of the best prophets.
Oh
We
man,
consider him to be human, not God, not the Son of God. Um, he's a man, but he was, supernatural, superhuman, one might say, because he had, different abilities than me, of course.
yeah.
But nothing that would, level him to something we would say, he was God, or,
You
we would
think
never
that
say something like that.
you think that a man can, or a human can, if they dedicate themselves, they can actually get to do what the things that Jesus was capable of doing.
Um, to a certain extent. So, like, Jesus, on top of all of his abilities, he received revelation from God. He had a book. He had his Injil, what we might call a Bible or an Evangel,
Hmm.
whatever the case. That book is some. I won't receive anything like that. I can't work to get a book like that. I can't work to be a prophet, but I can work to attain a high level, God willing. And I may be granted abilities like, maybe I could walk on water, maybe I could do something similar, but
Yeah.
still I wouldn't be a prophet. If
I
that
mean,
makes any
have you
sense.
seen the monks in Tibet? like some of them, like they are able to meditate and change, like they're able to control their temperature, and they they meditate around snow, and the snow starts melting. Like that's what I'm saying. Like if you dedicate your life to a certain level, like a certain level of
Sorcery, witchcraft.
is
I when I see certain things like that, and like I actually practice Shaolin Kung Fu, so I'm not just everything they do is crazy, but certain things I see, especially in the Buddhist community, I feel like they're doing certain levels of sorcery, one might say.
yeah. I mean, if you study the history of like different um like if you go to the Vikings and the paganism,
Mm.
they do a little bit. They got the Kabbalah in the Jewish religion, which I'm not gonna talk about because it gets, oof,
Yeah, yeah, it gets deep.
yeah, it gets heated. Yeah, like you can't talk about any of that anyway. But yeah, man, like do you do you like try to convert people like, hey, like this is the way, or is it like
Yeah,
do
this
what you
is the
do?
way. Just like how they say on Mandalorian, this is the way. Um, but yeah, it's like you can bring them to the water, you can't make them drink.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
say God makes Muslims, not me. So
Mm.
I might say Octavio, da 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 da. Try to tell you all
Yeah,
the things that I think are or that I know I should say is true and great, but you may not accept it the same way I did. So
yeah.
I'm not going to necessarily cry because you don't accept, but I try to express it in a way where you understand. You know,
Hmm.
me for example, when I was a kid, I used to look at different religions and say, how do I know, that I'm on the right track?
Yeah.
And I kind of regret that thought, but I was a child. So my thought more process my thought process was, if I don't know anything about these other religions, I can't put them on a scale and I can't weigh which one is right.
Hmm.
So I and that was because of my ignorance, of course. But whatever the case, I asked about different religions. I would ask, what do the Jews say? What do the Christians say? What do Hebrews? I mean, excuse me, Hindus and Buddhists say,
Hmm.
amongst other religions.
Yeah.
And when I came, when I got the gist of their different, sayings, a lot of them, for the most part, would say that God was weak, or God was like the creation, or God needed something, or he died, or he was like me. So I would see that similarity, and I would say, well, if they worship, Jesus, for example, and he was a man, and they admit he was a man,
Hmm.
why don't they worship me? And I'm not saying I
Yeah.
want them to worship me.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
You're doing like a you're reflecting. You're basically doing like a, yeah, just
like a Venn diagram type of situation, like just weighing out the
dissecting the
yeah.
situation. Yeah,
So,
definitely, definitely. I did that with every religion. Well, not necessarily. Uh, I didn't do my research, so when I didn't do, I didn't go deep into like. I just like looked at what their message was behind it,
mm,
behind their religion, and I did that with actually with Christianity,
okay,
and I was like, yeah, because they said like just the answer is Jesus and all this, um and like just give your life to Jesus, be reborn, and all this, and but I just kept feeling like like it felt good for a few days, and I kept like going back to
you're
maybe I
missing something.
yeah missing something. I was like I don't know what's going on. Like
Yeah, I feel like the Bible, like the so-called Bible, because I do believe Jesus came with a real book that was real, but we don't have it. So
yeah,
I feel like it's set up to make a person an atheist or an idiot, which I
yeah,
think might be one and the same. But for
yeah,
example, they say God owns everything. He created everything. He's the greatest, and
mm-hmm,
everything must submit to God, which I agree.
mm-hmm,
Then they say this great being had to sacrifice something to satisfy his other creations, which
yeah,
to me was stupid. And then they say that Not only did he sacrifice something, he sacrificed his son, which was also himself,
Yeah.
and he had to die to be reborn. And we all say that God is ever living, undying, non-needing of the creation. So why would he sacrifice, something that was dear to him to appease, others who were, according to the story, major sinners or bad people, and they
Right.
needed to be forgiven. So it's like the story just doesn't. If you steal something from me, Octavio, I could shoot you. I'm not going to do that, of course not. But I could. I could forgive you.
Mm-hmm.
I could hold a grudge and just walk away. I have options.
Mm-hmm.
But and those are all logical to me. Maybe not the shooting part, but you could see it happening. But now, why would I kill my son to forgive you? I could just be like, "You're forgiven. What you stole $5 is no big deal, bro. You should have asked. I could have gave it to you." But I'm not gonna kill my son. I'm not gonna kill my dog. I'm not gonna burn my clothing. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't sacrifice anything for me to forgive someone. I would just forgive them because I have that ability. And for God to be the
Yeah.
greatest and most wise,
He
why
could have
would He do
gotten
something
out
like
of that
that?
situation, but he didn't. You know.
That's stupid to me. You know.
And it's interesting how he didn't get out of that situation. So like to set an example, and that's probably a conversation that I should have with someone that is on from this side of the equation.
Equation.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might have a different dialogue with you, but it doesn't in human logic or man logic, we would never sacrifice our belongings to forgive someone else. It's like stupid.
Yeah.
In our logic.
Have Have you like ever like swayed away and like try to leave it like your religion behind and then like realize that no, I need this. Like this is what it's gives me life. Like gives me like helps me gives me more. Like I feel like me not having any religion kind of like makes me like am I miss like am I really like if I haven't been that successful or like haven't reached my this level of like fulfillment
Mm,
because I don't have this I'm not practicing like something that that y-
absolutely.
just
Like
keeps me going. Yeah,
it's for one, it's a way of life. It's a way of thinking, and
that's true. Yeah,
you see, just off of just you know base with religious people, whether I believe their religion is good or bad, you usually see them with a certain level of conduct, discipline, whether they might be people who want to kill, but they still have a standard that they stand for. Often people who lack religion, they're very, go where the wind blows and
yeah,
everything is just like, well, they have no standard, no
yeah.
yardstick to say what is right and
That's
wrong.
true.
So I feel, because I have a religion and I have, my religion is based on what God said. So if God said, you shouldn't kill someone, I shouldn't kill someone. But if I didn't have that, who's to tell me I shouldn't kill
I mean,
someone?
look at the world now, man.
There we go. You know,
And like you talk about atheists, like that thought went through my mind. I'm like, hell no, like you gotta believe, like all this, like it's some invisible hand, something that like I don't know if you ever had like situations where you're like, it's gotta be God, like you almost like you could have died like a few
mm,
times. I've been in a few car accidents. I have had a few maybe close overdoses and like situations where like just money came out of nowhere like to pay a bill
bro.
or like the person came out of nowhere.
Just recently, just like something so tragic that I don't even want to mention, and it wasn't even necessarily tragic, just devastating.
Yeah,
So I had got some news, and try to say it as vaguely as
yeah,
possible,
yeah.
but I got some news, and I was just like, could this be the case? I was like very very scared, but it wasn't immediate. It was like I had to wait to figure it out. So by the time I moved on, I got another, someone to look at it again and thought about the situation more. I'm praying through the whole time, just like hoping that this is not the case. And by the
Yeah.
end of it, it wasn't the case. But that level of stress that fell on me just from just hearing about it, it was enough for me to jump off a bridge. It was enough for me to, kill myself or to go on
Yeah.
rampage and things of that nature. And I felt very close to those thoughts. And what held me back from it, of course, was, for one, I have a family and children. So that's,
Yeah.
something like, even if I don't want to be here, I need to be there for them type of thing.
Yeah.
But religiously, we don't recommend, suicide. We don't recommend, killing anything unjustly.
And sometimes life seems meaningless, you know. I mean, and like look at Anthony Bourdain, like the
My
chef.
man's. It's
Yeah,
my man.
man. He, like I don't know what, like why he did that, but and recently that beauty pageant, Miss, like
See,
Miss USA.
he wasn't a religious person, and Anthony Bourdain, I love that dude. He he was a great chef. It was very interesting watching him and see him go to these different countries. He would go to Muslim countries. He was actually a Jewish like background,
Mm-hmm.
but he didn't really fuck with Judaism as a whole. Like he might have had some different parts that he was cool with, but he spent a lot of times in the Muslim lands, and he would say that like they were always generous to him. There was always this, that, and the third. The poorest of people were always nice to him, and I was enjoying all he said, but he was religionless. He had nothing to really live for. He was rich. He probably had plenty of women. He probably had plenty of like drugs that he liked. He probably was living like a very comfortable, enjoyable life, one might think. But that depression and that can really eat at you.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, look at what was I gonna say? I mean, Steve Jobs. I was gonna say Steve Jobs. Like he basically reached the pinnacle of success,
Mm.
and he his last words. I don't know if it's true, but I saw it on Facebook, so you can't really believe it, But it's like he reached like what people consider like success in business, but he realized that that wasn't like what made fulfilled him. Like that wasn't what life was about, and here in America, like we don't really like we don't really have some like we don't really practice like those meaningful things, and we just it's all about like how much money you got, like just showing people like it's basically like
Bragging.
bragging, yeah, and keep showing people like keep showboating, keep showing what the world like Elon Musk like is competing with Jeff Bezos, like who can get out of planet Earth first,
But that's where you go again with like the whole good and evil, John. So again with religions, and
I used to think that it was not a good and evil fight, but now I'm like, there's good and evil.
humility versus vanity. We always know which was better of the two. And people might say, hopefully, I don't want to be too vain because I feel like being vain is like, don't kill me, women, but more of a female thing, just like beautifying. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like being
yeah.
overly beautiful. And I feel like I don't need to be manicured and primped up that much. I'm a man. I should be kind of like
Yeah.
But still, we like nice things. We like nice clothing. And there's a difference between having clean clothing that are comfortable because you enjoy them, and having comfortable fancy clothing because you want to give off a certain image.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. And it's a dualism. It's a world where like you can is a spiritual world, and then there's like this physical world where we live in, where like you can like have dreads, and you dress up with nice shoes and all this, but still be a good person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the clothes don't make the man. So like you could be a bum and be better than me. You could be a president and be better than me. It's like your dress doesn't necessarily, but still, we should present ourselves a certain way. We shouldn't necessarily be out here looking hideous, but
Yeah, 'cause
humility is, I think, is like no matter how good you dressed, the humility is the case. If I have on Versace, I shouldn't look at the bum as less than me. I should look at him as a human, just like me,
Yeah,
and I could be in his position today, tomorrow, in the blink of an eye. So
that's true.
we should always think about that.
Yeah. Well, the, touching that, we're talking about that, like the shoe game. You say you're into like you love sneakers, or what kind of shoes?
Yeah, I'm a sneaker addict these days. Like, I try to fight the urge. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of money that goes into sneakers. And then you can't really. After a while, you don't even wear them all no more. It becomes a lot.
I think I think I thought about this. It's like cars, like what men, what men are able to create when they put their mind behind something, like the engine, like all the things that have been invented. Like, and the same thing goes with shoes. Like, what kind of like what type of creative shoe can a person come up with, and then like yeah, like you want to have something that's limited, right? Or that not everyone has, because
It's our nature.
it's our nature. We're competitive creatures by nature. That's
Yeah.
true.
We like and that's why I said, like, even with the vanity and all that, because I feel as men, we have a natural bravado. We have a natural competitive mind state. So
That's true.
like, with humility, with good nature, with understanding, we can say, this is my brother. I don't want to hurt my brother. If you look at other humans as your brother, you're more likely to say, eat what I'm eating. Want for your brother what you want for yourself. But naturally, everybody wants to have the prettiest girl. You know what I mean? It's not that I want to have a girl just as pretty as yours. I want to have a prettier girl a lot of times, or a nicer car.
Yeah.
And mind you, I'm at the point where I'm fine having, similar or even less. But usually our highest aspiration is to have the best of the best in every situation. Um,
Yeah, and like in that's why sports exists, because as man, you say we got this competitive nature. I give this example because we're competitive and we're compassionate. If me and you were in a foot race
mm,
and we take off, and we're like neck and neck, and then all of a sudden I fall, or you fall, you trip.
mm,
You might want to like stop racing and check on that person. You're not gonna be like, or you might finish the race
mm,
and then come back like, hey, are you okay?
mm.
So we're competitive. Like, we like to compete. Like,
Yeah.
so we're like, that's the thing. We forget about the compassionate side sometimes. And I feel like I don't know how you feel about capitalism. Capitalism is great. Like, it's innovative,
Mm-hmm.
but it's sometimes missing that compassionate side.
Yeah, I'm not like, of course, like everybody who doesn't like money, so capitalism, woohoo.
Yeah.
But my childish mentality goes back to, like, why don't we have like a bartering system? Why don't we just, all share? And I feel, of course, that's the end of the problems if we could just get along and work, harmoniously. But there's always bad apples in the batch.
That's true. Like, the people that want to have the 1% that want to have more and more and more, and yeah. But I mean, this. Yeah, I just want to touch the topic of like how in capitalism, like that's one thing that I noticed is that, for example, if you're McDonald's, like the thing with corporations, like they spread they spread, they want to like just want to take over the whole world, like they spread like a virus,
Mm.
like instead of like
McDonald's.
yeah, man, all these corporations, like do you think we got to have corporations, or like small businesses, or like just
I mean, I don't have a problem with corporation or small businesses. Like, I feel,
I mean small businesses as what I'm more in favor of, like local businesses, and
Mm.
compared to like a McDonald's in fucking the Middle East, like they don't need to be over there.
yeah. I mean, eh, so in general, I don't fuck with McDonald's. So fuck McDonald's.
Yeah, I haven't been to McDonald's in a while, man. That's
But at the
fast
same
food. Yeah.
time, why do we want to stop McDonald's from making their money? If they're, and get me wrong, if they are making their money in a non-violent way, they're going out, they're not shooting you, they're not saying buy this burger. They're just offering this burger. So you have a
Yeah.
choice, you know. I don't feel like we shouldn't hate on the corporation for spreading out and trying to expand and better themselves. We should be mad at the corporation for the folly, for the slavery, for the poison, for the pollution that they spread. Because like
Exactly.
so many of these corporations, they go into these countries, they leave landfills. You know, they leave
Yeah.
cancer.
Yeah.
They leave people working for them for minimum wage, and they're feeding them bullshit food that's way worse than the natural food of the land. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what's wrong with the
Exactly. That's what
corporation.
I'm saying.
You know.
That's what the thing with corporations. They do it for money
Yeah.
instead of doing it to like, yeah, like providing better food, like giving a job to someone. Like they just want to pay someone minimum wage and
But if I'm selling you 1,000 pounds of Irish moss for however price, I could care less. But we know something good for you. So you buying something good. And if I'm not like inflicting super labor laws, you can't go to your bathroom, sweatshop shit on my customers. I'm not necessarily on my workers. I'm not really mad at that. But again, we need to have a more, we need to all cooperate. We need to
yeah,
have a more cooperative society where, like you said, small businesses. You grow potatoes, I grow corn. Give me some potatoes for my corn. He got apples, and we keep it moving. I don't like the monopolization of the corporation in some extents,
the products.
and then the copy. No one can make money doing their thing anymore. Like you
Yeah.
might come out with, some hot sauce or some shit that you feel is like this is your family recipe. This is, my da 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
Now I want to make it. I want to taste it. You have it. You're successful with it, so I want to copy, get all the ingredients off the back, try to formulate it the same way and sell it. That's all we do here is copy and cheat.
Yeah, yeah. No, like so. You say you were vegan and you eat meat.
Yes.
Why did that happen? Wow.
Um.
Because I was trying to I'm on the fence about going vegan
Okay.
because um I take care I started to take care of my what I eat. I try to eat whole foods for the most part.
Word.
I did watch the Dick Gregory documentary the other day. You know Dick Gregory?
Yeah, for sure.
And he did so many things.
Mm-hmm.
He had an incredible life. From like starting as a comedian all the way to like being a activist when it was dangerous. Like
Yeah,
when
he's a real
he was
dude.
around MLK. I mean, he
Malcolm Odom, he said he
yeah,
called Malcolm the day he got hit.
yeah, and same thing with MLK. And so, and then he got into like fasting, like as a form of protest,
Mm.
and that's when he got into taking care of his what he consumed,
Mm.
and he went vegan. He started like just consuming. He made his own products, like vitamins, like his own mixtures and all
Mm.
this. And yeah, he ended up like just trying to help spread out like. Uh, so basically, like after watching that documentary and um, it just makes you think like yeah like what we consume, especially what the products that you see at the stores, like it's hard to take care of your health nowadays, and you gotta be really like cognizant about what you're doing, about what you're consuming. Like even the water, like I said, like is like it affects your testosterone and your hormone levels and all that. But yeah, you were vegan and then
Yeah, I mean,
you might go back to vegan or
chicken is too good.
yeah.
Had some chicken last night. Fucking the thing is, at the end of the day, I'm a Muslim. That trumps everything else.
hmm
So we know that religiously, I'm allowed to eat meat. I can't eat pork. I don't eat dog. I don't eat none of the that nasty fly shit that's forbidden for me.
Yeah.
But as far as things that are permissible, like vegetables and certain animals and things like that, that's allowed to me. So it's more so if I don't want to eat chicken or I don't want to eat steak, I won't. I don't have to consider myself, a person that only eats plants, to only eat plants. But I usually eat what's available to me, what's good, and I think that's more of the mind state we should have because our situations change.
hmm
So I could be a person who's a vegan and I could curse you for eating meat and say that you're such a cruel person. But A lot of times when vegans are in jail, they don't have a choice. A lot of times
That's true.
if when vegans are, out of town, you know, you probably can't find no vegan shit. You got to eat, a biscuit that got milk in it or eggs or something of that nature. Um, and then different places. Back in the day, if you traveling, you encounter different shit. So like, you eat what's available to you. If shit hits the fan tomorrow, we're all in the woods. What are you eating? You're a vegan. You're gonna eat all the mushrooms. You're gonna eat all the dandelions and shit like that. Okay. What happens when you run out of greens?
Yeah.
You're looking at that deer. You're looking at that bird. So if it's healthy, I fuck with it.
Yeah, if it's is going back to how like tribal, like when when we're coming up as a human, as humans, like we're like hunter gatherers.
I don't believe in that story.
You don't believe in that story?
No.
Yeah, who knows? Like
I
how
believe in
life
Adam.
was. Yeah.
I believe in that prophet Adam. So I don't say Adam was a hunter gatherer. Um, like when I say that, I don't. I'm saying he was civilized. He
Mhm.
wasn't a caveman. He wasn't someone who they make us seem like he didn't know how to do anything. He could build fires. He could coin money. He could use a pen. So he was skilled in different fields, and one would have to be the head of a society.
Yeah.
You would have chaos if you didn't have someone with enough wisdom to lead people.
Yeah, man. Um, that's interesting. Yeah. Where did he learn that? God.
Well, I mean, the story of Adam is that Adam was created from clay, mixed soils. A soul was blown into him from an angel. He sneezed. Um,
Hey, that's similar to the Anunnaki story, man.
mm. A lot of stories are intertwined.
Like yeah.
And
Like how I don't know if it's aliens or if it's like gods or a god that saw what was came what was going on planet Earth and decided to create something in the image of themselves or of them, and they created a human, and that's a civilized human, like you said. So
and
it's
we
like
say God created the earth, so he created everything, and then and all in a short period of days, and then he created man, and and man was in paradise after he sneezed. He said Alhamdulillah, all praise be to God, and he did so other things. The story of them eating from the fruit. Eventually, he left paradise, but before leaving this place, the angels inquired about him, and the angels had different things to say to God about this creature. So God informed him that he was given knowledge of things that they weren't, and he told them to to ask him the names of everything. Or excuse me, I may be misquoting, but he was ordered to mention or asked to mention the names of everything, and he mentioned all the things that the angels had no knowledge about, and things that he may not have knowledge, or that you're not born knowing everything. But
mhm.
Adam, when he was created, he had knowledge of different things. He knew what a tree was. He knew what a dog was. He knew how to do different things. And after they was evicted, one might say, from paradise, they worked on earth. They taught their children and go
Yeah.
on and go on.
Yeah, that's interesting because no one knows. Like, if you go into like science,
Mm.
they don't know how humans became what they became. It's kind of like when you make a cake, you you gotta have all the ingredients like to make the cake. You know what I mean? Like you can't just have a cake and then add the eggs at the end. You know what I mean?
Nah,
So
recipe.
yeah, like you can't just be like, oh, I forgot the eggs. Let me put the egg on top of the cake.
Yeah,
So it's
don't
like
work like that.
how everything had to be there already. So even scientists don't know what like it's like like you say, it's intertwined. It's all kind of like God created the earth. God created everything. God created a human. And that that spread and became who we are. The civilization that we are.
No,
Yeah. Very interesting. Do you have any books that you recommend?
a lot of
Be-
books. You mean like on religion or
well,
like on
I
what?
know I just threw that question out of nowhere, but I was like, any books that you're reading?
I'm reading The Alchemist right now.
The Alchemist,
Yeah,
the Paulo Coelho.
yeah. I
Yeah.
read it before, but I really like the book. I'm just just delving more into it because I feel like the kid in the story.
Yeah, that's why I like I used to like not read fiction books, but I got more into them because you get, especially like, especially when you get into a good story. But yeah, that's a really good story.
Yeah, you identify with it. Um, it's a lot of good stories. Like me per se, I could suggest a lot of books, but I like oral stories personally. Like I have a teacher that I'll give you his link. I think his page is called Knowledge on YouTube,
Okay.
and he gives a lot of different stories. Um, but this
Yeah.
this this guy did a drawing with
Oral stories. You know, that's how stories used to be told.
yeah, that's the best way. The,
The Odysseus story was from, yeah,
what is the Odyssey?
the Odyssey. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Odyssey. That's what I meant.
yeah. I fucks with Greek mythology. I don't believe in it, of course, but it's cool stories.
Yeah.
And what was it? I deal with the oral stories more. My father was an orator, so he was actually an African griot, so he taught a lot of different stories from West
Mm.
Africa. That was like my job as a kid. But now,
And that's like one of the best traits you have, like being able to tell stories.
yeah, I mean, this is how we communicate.
Mm-hmm.
I could give you a book, but the book is always limited.
Mm-hmm.
It's that's why we add footnotes. That's why we add different explanations to it later. But if I'm talking directly to you and I'm asking you your life story, what you put in your biography is going to be different than what you tell me. You know what I mean? You'd be like, no, actually, what happened on this day? You know what I mean? Or
Yeah,
there's going to
yeah.
be some
You're
different parts.
reading, yeah, you're reading, and then like while you're reading, it, you're like, actually, yeah,
Yeah, how it made you feel, what type of
yep.
designs came out of it. So the oral story is great to accompany the book. Like it's a story of Joseph, the Muslim version of it. I would suggest you check it out. It's not far off from the other
other.
versions, but we have some differences, of course, and it's a very how can I say thrilling story.
Yeah,
Yeah, think about you get sold into slavery by your brothers, and then you become like damn near the king by the end of the story. It's
dang, yeah, yeah. I need to get back to looking into like I wouldn't say biblical stories, but stories told.
mm.
What would you call them? Like,
I mean, I might use biblical, but ancient stories. I don't know, religious stories maybe, because
yeah,
we share them, because it's a lot of really cool stories in the Quran. They have a story. Yusuf is also in there, or Joseph, but there's a story about Moses, Musa. We have I believe Moses is the one that was mentioned the most in the Quran.
oh, okay,
And so if you his one chapter is called Al Kaf, or the cave, and it speaks about more than just Moses. It speaks about different things, but the section that goes into Moses is very cool, very
yeah,
mystical. Like he meets like he meets like a wanderer and
hey,
things of that nature.
release is here.
Okay, in here.
Yeah, I don't know. They trying to look like investigate or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's candy or something.
Well, I just zip it up
Yeah, shit.
and put it under the blanket.
Yeah, you good, you good.
There we go.
Yeah, listen, they gotta leave. They gotta leave.
Good work. Yeah, I'm just making sure. I'm like, what the fuck did I do?
Yeah, nah, yeah. We gotta get out of it. You ain't do shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like maybe that smell too bad.
Nah, hell nah. Maybe security passed by. I'm not sure, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we are like out here anyway.